Hello guys, welcome to the next video tutorial on Android app development for beginners. In the last few videos, we have been seeing how to use services in Android. And in this video, we will see how to use and create a bound service in Android. So let's get started. First of all, what is a bound service? A bound service is like a server in a client-server interface. A bound service allows components such as activities to bind to the service, send requests, receive responses, and even perform IPC or inter-process communication. Okay, and there are three ways of creating bound services. First is by extending the binder class, which we are going to do in this video. Second is by using a messenger, and third is by using AIDL or Android Interface Definition Language. These two we will see in the later videos. But in this video, we are going to create a bind service or bound service by extending a binder class. So let's get started. I have this blank project, and this is just a bare bone project. And in here, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a service, as we always do for creating a service. So right click your package and create new, and go to services and click service. So this is one of the way of creating a service in Android. Okay, so just click it, and the name of the service class I will leave it as default, which is my service, and I will finish it. And it's going to create this class which extends from service class. As we know from our previous videos that if you want to create a service, we need to extend from service class, and this is our class. And this is the onBind method which we have to implement when we create our bound service. Now, in which scenarios we want to create a bound service by extending the binder class, and why and how we can do it, let's see. So if your service is private to your own application and runs in the same process as the client, which is the most common case, and which is we have been seeing this kind of service creation in the last videos also, then you should create your interface by extending the binder class and returning an instance of it from onBind method, which is this method which is automatically generated for us. Okay, now let's create the bound service by extending the binder class. So first of all, we will create a class inside our my service class, which will be a public class, and I will name it as local binder. Okay, and which extends from the binder class, right? So binder. So this is the class which we want to create, and inside this class what we want to do is we create a method which returns my service instance, so my service, and the method name would be get service. And what this is going to do is it's going to return an instance of my service dot this. Okay, and we must return it like this. Okay, now as the definition says that we need to create our interface by extending from the binder class and returning an instance of it from onBind method. So we are going to do the same. First of all, we are going to create our binder interface. So just write public final I binder, which is a class for interfacing the binder class and give any name to your binder, for example iBinder, and we are going to initialize this using our local binder class. Okay, so like this with new. Okay, so is equal to new local binder. Okay, and as it says that we need to return this instance from onBind method, so just take this instance of interface and just return it from here. So iBinder and return. Okay, now for example we want to create a random number generator for our bound service. So what we can do is we can create a variable called m generator, and which uses this class called random, which is used to generate the random numbers, right? And we are going to initialize it by new random. Okay, now we are going to create a method which is going to return an integer value, so public int, and we say it's a get random method. Okay, this is going to return this random number generator after generating it. Okay, and in here we want to return the generated random number. So just copy your m generator variable and just write dot next int, and in the argument of next int just give the range in which you want to create the random number. For example, under 200 you want to create this random number, then you just need to give 200. Okay, so it's going to create the random number between 0 to 200. Okay, so this is how we can create a bound service using the extension or which extends from the binder class. Now in our interface or in our activity here, what we are going to do is we are going to take a button and the text on it will be get random number. Okay, and we are going to take a large text on which we are going to display this number. Okay, and I'm going to fill parent so it extends to the width of our screen. And now in the main activity.java file here we can implement this button click event. But first of all, go to your activity and go to your text, and in the button here add an element called on click. So Android on click, and we can give any method name, for example get random number. Okay, and this is the method which we are going to implement. So go to your main activity.java file, and in here we are going to first of all create this method which will be public void and the method name, and in here view, and inside this we are going to return this random number. Okay, now at the top we are going to define two variables. One is the object or instance of my service class, so my service object, and second is a variable for checking if our service is bound or not. So this will be a boolean variable and we are going to name it as is bound, and we are going to initialize it as false. Now we need to create an object of a class called service connection at the bottom. So inside a class, go at the bottom and in here create a instance of a class called service connection, and we will name it as service connection, and we will press alt enter to import service connection class, and then is equal to new service connection. And when you press enter for the first method here, it will create two methods automatically for you, but you need to give this semicolon here to close it. Okay, and in here you need to write some code, and in the first line we need to create our local binder object. So just create a local binder object, local binder, and name it something. For example, binder is equal to, we need to cast this local binder, so just cast it local binder with the service instance, which is here. Now what we want to do is we want to take this object of my service class, copy it and paste it here, and we will equate it with this binder dot get service. Okay, and one more thing we want to do is we want to take our is bound variable and make it is equal to true. And in the on service disconnected method, we want to make our is bound variable as false. Okay, now as we always do, we want to create an intent for creating our service. So go to on create method here and create an intent object. So intent is equal to new intent, and this intent will take two arguments. First is this, and second is my service dot class. Okay, and now we are going to create a bound service. So just write bind service, and the first argument of it will be our intent. Second will be our instance of our service connection instance. So this is our service connection instance. Copy the instance from there and paste it here. And third argument will be context dot bind auto create. Okay, this is the flag. Now one thing which is remaining now is to display our random number in our edit text or text view, right? So we will create an object of text view, for example text view, and we are going to cast it with text view, find view by id, r dot id dot our text view name. Okay, and then you just need to take your text view variable dot set text, and what we can do here, we can use the object of my service class from here, and using this we can call our get random function from here. It's get random, I misspelled it, which is gar random. Anyway, you can rename it as get random. Okay, but this will not work because this is returning an integer, and we want to pass to the set text a string variable. So what we can do is we can cast this integer to string, and how we can do it, just write integer dot to string, and then inside this bracket just copy this whole method from here and paste it here. Okay, so I hope everything is done now. So let's run our program. So our app is running now, and I'm going to click this get random number button, and it gives me a random number which is 142, once again 62, 164, and it will keep on giving me this random number until and unless I'm keep on clicking this. Okay, So in this way, you can create a bound service in Android. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. And